Gay, and naive. Coming out was difficult because of the times, and I did not know any open gays until I went away to college. It was there at Baton Rouge, Louisiana, when I first came out, even though homophobia was not uncommon in the South. Going to school at Southern University was great, minus a few jerks in class who made higher learning a bit like high school. Well, anyway, I had two friends, Farad and Daniel, and they were the gay doppelgangers of Cisco and Biggie Smalls. They named me Polka, which was short for Pocahontas, which is equivalent to today's Becky with the good hair. They showed me all the gay stuff. And just one night, they took me to a black gay bar, and I got to experience what it's like to be unapologetically black and gay as hell. They took me to Oz, the legendary gay bar on Bourbon Street, and I got to see my first go-go boy. My life has not been the same since. Last, they took me to Rawhide, which is a leather bar not far from Bourbon Street, and I got to experience my first dark room. The Dora Explorer in me wanted to know why it was so dark, but only a few flashlights. It was truly eye-opening. What I do remember is that every club was hot and sweaty, or it could have just been me. But like I said, these two gays, they took me to everything gay except drag. So what is drag? Drag is typically when a man dresses as a woman for entertainment purposes. But for me, drag is an art form, drag is an outlet, drag is fun, but drag is work. It is my career. So today, I'm going to tell you my story and how drag changed my life and how it allowed me to change so many others. So sit back, relax, and welcome to my TED Talk. It all started when I moved back to my area, and I finally felt comfortable enough to go to the gay bars back at home. It was there at the OP when I saw my first drag queen. I remember I was with my cousin Deborah, and as we walk in, we had to go up this ramp that you'd find at Elitch Gardens. And once that opens up, it opens up to a giant dance floor, and on that dance floor was a man dressed as a woman pretending to be Madonna. You know, the Material Girl. I didn't understand it at all. I didn't understand it at all to the point where I was confused by the whole thing. I had scrunched up nose, and honestly, I had feelings of disgust. I didn't understand it to the point where I didn't understand why a man would want to dress up as a woman and parade around. To me, it was weird. Why? I have no clue. They weren't hurting anybody. As a matter of fact, they looked to be having the time of their life. So how did I, being confused and turned off, disgusted by drag, end up being a drag local icon? Later, I learned on that stage that drag queen, her name was Diamond. How I came to meet Diamond, I have no clue, I have no memory. Though I don't think people remember when an angel enters their life. She truly is an angel. I didn't hate the person doing drag, I hated the act of drag itself. But getting to know this person, and what drag really is, I later became her friend, and then I became her backup dancer. Eventually, she became my drag mother. A drag mother like Diamond, she took me under her trans wings, she gave me guidance, the do's and don'ts of drag, she showed me how to sew an outfit, do makeup, pretty much what it's like to be fully invested into the drag scene. She's a true definition of grace, strength, and beauty. I eventually followed her footsteps, and I became a pageant queen, and I won Miss Gay El Paso and Miss Gay Lubbock 2003. The right people, they wanted to talk to me more, they wanted to hang around more, and they also wanted me to perform more. So with this one show, my drag career snowballed. I eventually became a regular guest and a cast member for Vivid, which is arguably one of the best drag shows to ever grace the Charlie's stage, a gay bar in Denver. My drag took a turn for the better when I met my friend and mentor, Nina Flowers. Already having my own drag mother, She embedded some DNA, my drag DNA. Nina comes around to mutate that. Show me who she was. She allowed me to step out of my pageant sparkle and show the rest of the world who I could be. My drag changed a bit. I no longer was this beauty queen from the hood of Northeast El Paso. My drag changed and became more avant-garde and alternative. I soon became a mixture of beauty, sexiness, horror, and humor. It was during this time that I met my best friend and my first drag daughter, Minor Misdemeanor. Make some noise for your sister. Minor Misdemeanor, and passed down my own drag DNA. I taught her the grace and style and beauty of a pageant queen, but also to step outside of the box that she thinks she's in. But little did I know she was going to change my life more than I could change hers. She taught me to be more open, more kind, more nurturing, and more protective of others. She pretty much changed everything about me, and I will never forgive her for that. Being felony misdemeanor, I've had some amazing opportunities. One that stands out the most is being one of the ever first drag queens to perform on the Red Rock stage. A stage that many of my music idols have performed on, and a stage many artists pray for the chance. For Drag Race fans, I was voted by RuPaul and the nation as the first and only exceptional queen. Me and a few friends got to audition as the Spice Girls on America's Got Talent. We got 3 out of 4 X's almost immediately. Yeah, it was terrible. This experience was terrible and exciting at the same time. And unfortunately, our segment never made it to air. And most recently, me and a few friends got to open for Katy Perry for a private Taco Bell corporate event. They didn't have tacos there. So like I said, being felony, I've had some amazing opportunities. But to me, the most important opportunity was raising a whole community. It wasn't until I was well into my drag career that I was actually able to use that platform to help the community. With this, me and my best friend, Thera, we opened a HIV testing center with Planned Parenthood called The Drop. Our demographics were focused on Black, brown, queer, and trans folk, but open to everyone. Having people that look like me come in there and say they've never been tested for anything, but to also get them the proper care and treatment and prevention, it was amazing. We know we were doing the Lord's work, winning awards and stuff. Also, with my work in the community, I was offered the opportunity to help start Black Pride Colorado. Black Pride Colorado was created to celebrate, liberate, and engage our Black queer community by building resilience to honor and preserve our culture and history. With this, we were able to reach an even bigger audience because people were curious. They were very curious. We popped off, as the kids call it. I, more specifically, was a trans program director, and I quickly put together events such as HRT and Crumpets, where trans folk of every kind got together, drinking expensive teas and eating fancy pastries, but enjoying each other's company versus living in past traumas. We had monthly skate parties and name change parties, and of course, HIV testing and STI testing and prevention was always provided. A couple of weeks in July, we had a queer youth camp for little kids. And for me, it was hot, it was dirty. I can't stand dirt, so for me, it was the worst experience of my life. But it was rewarding and necessary. You know, we were doing the Lord's work, winning awards and stuff. It wasn't until recently the mayor named June 14th Black Pride Day.